parents, my name is Michelle, and I'm one of the founders of the Little Executive. I'll be explaining to you in this video what we do at TLE and how we can help your child. Let us first think about this. What do you think is the right foundation that your child needs? All of us as parents want our children to be successful. And many of us think that academics is the foundation that we can give to our child to help them to achieve success, whether it is in life or at home. But even before that, before academics, what is another strong foundation that your children need? At TLE, we have this 4Q method, which has been helping parents to raise well-rounded, independent, and resilient children who are ready to succeed in school and in life. So what are the 4 Qs? I'm sure you've heard of IQ, right? How we look at IQ is we don't teach any content here, but it's all about learning how to learn better. And we know that with IQ, it's not enough. We need to add EQ together with IQ. Part of EQ is not only yourself, but with others as well, how you self-regulate and your social skills. And now there's a big thing that everyone is talking about, especially in times like this, when you face a lot of challenges. It's RQ, where we talk about having resilient, having grit, and a growth mindset. That no matter what challenges that your child might face, they will be able to get up and persevere and keep trying. The 4th Q is probably quite unheard of to most parents, and that is called executive function, EFQ. Let me explain a little bit more about EFQ. So firstly, why are executive function skills so important? For example, in an airport, you have an air traffic controller. You may have some planes that are flying very fast. You know, we have kids here with very high IQ, but why the parents continue to put their kids with us is because the other 3 Qs are underdeveloped. So you may have one plane flying really quickly around, but if the controls tower is not working well to orchestrate the whole movement, when some of the airplane should be flying off and when it should be landing, it will still not be smooth. That is what sometimes we hear teachers saying to you, that your child has a lot of potential, but they're not showing it. So here's an EFQ, an executive function checklist. Look at this and see if your child faces any of these issues. Whether they have difficulty paying attention, they interrupt others, they can't follow instructions, or they may forget instructions. They get frustrated with changes in schedules or any sort of changes. They have difficulty in moving on to another activity. They're disorganized. They struggle with making decisions, or they can't set goals. So if you notice your child having any of these, it would be EFQ that they need to work on. One child we have had with us for about 2 years now was Lovelyn. She came to us as a nursery 2 child. A typical child, at nursery 2, in class, she wasn't able to focus well. She wasn't very organized. But after going through our program, now Lovelyn knows, what she wants to achieve, and that's it. And she plans her own schedule. And her teachers have commented on her positive attitude. She's able to plan her own timetable, set her own goals, and stick to it. For RQ, resilience, have a look at this checklist and see whether your child faces any of these, whether they give up easily. You hear a lot of I can't do this is so hard. They're afraid to try new things. They are not self-motivated. They get frustrated when they can't do an activity. They don't like challenges. They don't learn from their mistakes. They're lacking in confidence, or they need you beside them very often. These are all RQ areas that they need to work on. Mr. Ong, dad of Megan, said that Megan used to give up very easily, but after going through our classes, now she will keep on trying, and she has a good attitude. And we see this in almost all of our children. They come in without resilience. A lot of them give up very easily. But now a lot of parents tell us, they would tell their moms, "Mommy, let me try first." Instead of last time always asking the mom or dad to do it for them. For EQ checklist, have a look at these. Whether they throw tantrums, they get frustrated easily, poor social skills, they can't resolve conflict, they're stubborn, wanting their own way, they can't regulate their emotions, they're not aware of social skills, not aware of others' feelings, they struggle to express their feelings, or they can't get along nicely with others. These are all under EQ. We have Camilla. Camilla, Mom was telling us that she used to cry, all the time, even in her preschool when she went for new enrichment classes that Mom signed her up for, because she had, an unfortunate incident in school before. But after coming to us, it just magically, disappeared. It's because we have the time and we have the space to work with our kids on the issues that they need to. IQ checklist. Does your child face any of these? They struggle to make connections in their learning. They keep making the same mistakes. They seem careless. They need things to be explained to them a few times. They take a long time to learn something. They can't spot their own mistakes. Their thoughts seem jumbled up. They don't know how to check their own work. Teachers may say that, your kid needs to put in a lot more effort, although he seems to have the potential. For Janine, her preschool teacher used to say that, she seemed very lost and she couldn't understand what was being taught in school. But after 2 years at TLE, she has improved tremendously, not only in IQ, but in all her 4 Qs. If we could take a look at this, which bucket do you think is a better bucket, bucket A or bucket B? If we would want to fill the bucket up, right? So obviously, it would be bucket B. Bucket A has a lot of has holes, and you can see the water flowing out from there. So what's the problem? Now, if you imagine your child's brain or your child's potential to be like the bucket, if you look at the first bucket, our kids go to school, they may go to enrichment classes, and if you feel that, hey, they might need some help, or they're not doing so well in their studies, what do? You pump in more tuition, you try to teach them yourself, go for enrichment classes. But if you look at the gaps, what's happening is that every single child has learning gaps. And when we're talking about giving them a strong foundation, instead of wasting, your time, your money sending them to different classes or tuition to try to solve that problem, which doesn't seem to help, the first thing is to patch that bucket with our 4 Qs. And that's a strong foundation we're talking about. And then you can see that moving forwards from now and for the rest of their learning journey into primary school, secondary school, and for the rest of their lives, they have a very solid bucket where you can see on the right side, it can fill up much quicker, and they can absorb things not only in school but in all the other classes as well. Okay. I'm sure you have heard of 21st century skills. Things like critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, interpersonal skills, communication skills, empathy, flexibility, adaptability, and resilience. Again, these are the 4 Qs that we focus on here. So what is the right foundation that your child needs to attain success before even academics? We need to work on their 4 Qs, give them a very, very solid and strong foundation for them to build. Look at this quote that we found, and we thought it was very, very applicable for what we do. If a child can do advanced math, speak 3 languages, or receive top grades, but can't manage their emotions, practice conflict resolution, or handle stress, none of the other stuff is really going to matter. This is very common in a lot of our Singaporean children. We have Mrs. Singapore, Rachel, and she said this is the right place to be. It's all about the right attitude towards learning to get any child to cope, be great in life and for the future. I'm truly inspired. And a lot of parents are now realizing that this really is the focus for this generation of children, even before hothousing them with academics. Our team of teachers are highly trained, and they provide a developmentally appropriate and engaging and a very challenging environment for your children. And our curriculum is based on sound pedagogy, and it's all scientifically researched, and we go to great lengths to make the lessons very fun and unique for your children. So if you're looking, if you're watching them while the class is running, sometimes it may look like they're just having a lot of fun, but behind that is a lot of research. And as you know, children learn best while they're having fun. So, our teachers go to great lengths to put that element in for them. Angie said that this is the only class we send our 3 kids to, and it is worth it because they've changed so much. And she herself is an educator, and in fact, we have a lot of educators who are sending their kids to us because they know that we are the only place in Singapore that teaches the 4 Qs to them. Our classes are weekly and 1.5 hours. Okay. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you soon.